The world needs a new life process that is sustainable. It needs to be bring into account all dimensions of reality and life process for humanity, technological, ecological, economical, social, political, educational. That model, there needs to be a model, and that model can only be arrived at through a synthesis of all of these dimensions, these disparate dimensions of current life reality into a synthesized, sustainable whole. So how do we get there? We do what you folks are doing. You're literally developing messaging, translation, and transmutation models and process to say, if someone is a hardcore scientist and they walk in the door and they say, well, the only thing I'll believe in is something I can replicate in the lab 50 times without error. You say, okay, that's great. We get that that's where you are. That's your reality. That's how you process reality. For you, that is reality and is the only way to develop and evolve reality. And we can meet you in conversation there. And we can engage you collaboratively in that conversation. And we can say, well, okay, it's fantastic that you do that and that that's your way. And certainly the scientific method has all kinds of beneficial qualities and dynamics to it. It's very useful. It's given us medicines, or it's given us the computer, and given us Zoom that we can communicate on. And is it a perfect process? No. Is it a complete process? Has it solved everything? No. Maybe someday. Until then, it's really, really good as it is. And it's not covering all the bases. So can we talk about what it doesn't cover as of yet? What has science figured out how people can live in peace in their heart and soul? Has science figured out how we can collaborate consciously and in a transdisciplinary way and synthesize all of the wonderful, excellent understandings we've arrived at from all the experts in the world? No. We're doing our best to build that right here, right now? That capacity, yes. And make it scalable, yes. Okay, so there's room for discussion there that's not in denial of science, not in judgment of science, that advocates science and wants to create a Rosetta Stone of shared understandings and transformational concepts that will engage science in the WSS process. And in that, and the key element of this statement is, and in that process, certainly we as an organization learn, evolve, grow, become more conscious, and science in its current form is foundationally transformed and evolved. It might say that it is the system of transformation and evolution. We would suggest that it can be augmented. The scientific method can be evolved beyond its current paradigm and synthesized and integrated with all other disciplines. And that synthesis will yield higher quality results than science can all by itself, or that medicine can all by itself, or that political science can all by itself, or economics, education can all by itself. The composite, the new composite has greater power and capacity than all the parts do. They're not just adding a bunch of ingredients together. Transdisciplinarity is not overlap of disciplines. It is a completely new being, a completely new quality of consciousness that results, transcendent of every ingredient. And in that process, every ingredient is transformed and evolved. So economics is evolved, sociology is evolved, political science has evolved, and the simultaneous integrated synthesis of all of them evolves faster and more comprehensively than any. So then we get the ripple out, ripple in process of synthesis and integration, informing and evolving all disciplines and areas of knowledge and expertise in the world. That paradigm is something we are designing and building together right now. We've been doing it now for over a year. We're succeeding in that. And you folks are building the sandcastle out of the grains of sand of moment by moment conversation. Your recordings of your meetings, or reviewing your information, or sharing your information. You're learning how to put every grain of sand necessary precisely in place to build a brand new, comprehensive, sustainable life process for humanity.